Hello, welcome back. I am Darcy Darkness, and this is Confessions from the Dark Side. And how are you all in this wonderful community? I'm going to take the disclaimer out of the way because it's me and can I be trusted? Can I fuck? See? Disclaimer: we are full of so much adult content that some of you may think this isn't necessary, and some of you think this isn't needed. If you are one of those people, then thanks for checking us out. But I'll say this only once: if you can't stand the heat, then get the fuck out of my kitchen. Now, for everyone else who likes what we have here, the regular scheduled programming will continue. Shall we get started? And are we ready? So, what are we covering today? Well, it's reviews from the Dark Side today, and it's blinked twice, or what I like to call it, a Diddy Party on Epstein Island. Why do I say that? Well, we're going to find out, aren't we? With all the crazy drama llama that's been going on for the past few years between this title and the actual title, then you can understand why when I describe this movie to you. This movie is well a story that plays with the realities of a different world and culture where money well can buy you anything and anyone, as people who are in this world or wish to be part of this world will do anything, pay anything to become a permanent fixture in this world. And at what price is it not okay to be involved in this world? This life for people wishing to be a part of a world, they only see what they want to see, which is fame and clout. Well, there is a dark and sinister world where you are just one of many and you can be replaced at the blink of an eye. So take it in because you may not be there for long enough, whether you get to leave intact or not. If you want to hear more, stick around, grab a drink, get comfy, and let's discuss, shall we? Let's take a dark, horrific mystery tour to a world where this has been happening and has been happening. The type of horrors we barely scratch the surface of our world to be caught off guard with their world. Do we want to take a day trip to the dark side, or are we fine on the sidelines watching and judging? Because over recent times the tea was lukewarm, yet we are heating up because what we once thought was impossible is actually the opposite of what we expected. I know I didn't, as the world of money and success to these magnitudes is a toxic cesspool and takes a special kind of person to blend in and live like this. Actions have consequences. Audience, let's dive in. Let's make sure we don't miss a thing, because when we think in a blink, then it's gone. Let's see what Blink Twice has to offer us, shall we? Let's dive in. Are we ready, my wonderful audience? Because I am. This type of story for me brings to light the darkness of money, fame, and clout. Really shows how far the reality that these people live in the sort of life, well, it's only a matter of time before the world knows what you did it to it, and what you're doing to yourself. And who's involved? Much to what we have seen over the past few years in the media of the mighty falling on their swords from their actions and taking advantage of the need that some people feel makes them who they are or who they wish to be, and will stop at nothing to get there. And then that world takes a turn down a seedy alley where you'll never be the same again. Let's see how Zoe Isabella Kravitz's first baby, her directional debut, takes us, shall we? Channing Tatum is in this. Apparently, he is playing Slater, who is the creepy tech billionaire with a private island. Let's see where this goes. You can understand why I've called it the way I have called it, and I have titled this episode A Diddy Party on Epstein Island. Let's go. Starts off with Slater being in interviews and him saying he's sorry. Now, this is something that you need to remember because, spoiler, he is sorry. It comes up uncomfortably at the end of the movie for something that he is a changed man. Kind of reminds of Randy Andy's interview. I was in Pizza Express and not with minors, of course not. The story starts as it finishes, being sorry for executed actions of billionaire and his rich friends taking advantage of everything in their world and bringing others from our world into it. Now, these people want to be there but have no idea what the actual fuck this means. So to the gullible, be careful out there. If it seems too good to be true, then it is. So don't trust it. It's the rich versus the poor, and the rich versus the super rich, competitive and, well, very toxic. So Frida is like the main female in this story that plays opposite Channing Tatum, who plays Slater, and they're in a art gallery type thing. But before this, we see that she's got a sore face. She has like between her jaw and her eye, there's like a mark, like a abrasion on her face, and she falls at the art gallery. He's intrigued by this mystery woman. He speaks to her all night, which is Frida, and then invites her and her friend to join him on a trip to a private island. But again, at this point, she doesn't know where she's going, by the way. He just runs back and says, do you want to come? And again, you don't know this person. You don't know the people you're going with, and yet If you say yes, then you can be replaced. So Vic, who's played by Christian Slater, this cast, there's so many good classic actors from like the 70s and the 80s and 90s on this movie, and they play their characters very well. And Christian Slater is an amazing actor, and he does play his character incredibly well. He takes a picture with a Polaroid camera, very, very retro 70s, 80s, making memories. He says, before this, you have to hand over your electronic devices, not weird at all, kind of like those super rich events where you get up to anything and everything and no one wants to be caught, so they go to a private island where there are no rules and no technology, no one to cry for help or report to you. It should belong to them now, and whatever happens, it's your words against theirs. So not dodgy at all. Would you go with strangers? No. Have your parents not taught you a thing? I want you to know who I'm going to a private island with, don't you? People bringing dresses all white, who is infamous for their white parties and who is in jail for something similar? Is this a hint of Hollywood already? Her and her friend wondering if the human sacrifice is before or after. I wouldn't joke about that, especially there, but hey, again, you never know. She choked on a raspberry over drink, but Slater sees her as the flavour of the month, who is Channing Tatum, and he ignores the other woman for the choking lady. I also thought, who the fuck chokes on a raspberry? But hey, I choke on air and water, so it's definitely a possibility. The people who look after the island are smiling and being creepy, and the woman with this has a snake tattoo on her arm. She's really creepy towards Frida. Touched her cheek at the start again in the movie where injury was at the side of her head and near her jaw, and she calls her a name she doesn't understand, but she keeps saying Red Bunny, Red Bunny, Red Bunny. Again, the woman knows her, but she doesn't know her. Please remember this. This movie is a Diddy reenactment. Are they really trying to show us a little behind the curtain? And this movie came out just as everything has erupted in Hollywood and people are absolutely shitting themselves in the music and Hollywood community. The setting's very odd and cult-like. Not uncommon in this reality. White cotton linens, the woman wears a symbol of innocence and purity, but for who? The setting and the angles and the location, I agree from the early reviews that everything has been picked so we can pick up on the energy and the mood of the film that's trying to set mystery of the unexpected, which is reality. Again, in this world with these types of people, this actually portrays it incredibly well. I did agree with some of the earlier reviews on how she's actually picked everything and the shots of the direction that she's went in. Around the table, all successful in bragging about accomplishments, basically a penis measuring contest and talking shit as they seem to need their egos massaged in more ways than one. Invite less successful people so you can brag about your achievements and make others feel inferior towards you. It's never nice now, is it? Vic is questioning Frida and she's skirting around what she actually does, meaning she isn't successful for them, as them, and she doesn't want to embarrass herself in the process. Good save, but they know a kidder, they are the masters of it themselves because they kid people who are actually richer than them, so they can feel less inferior to people who have more than them. It's a contest. Frida spills red wine on her dress right in the middle of kind of like the band bit, just down from her chest, and the woman that was laughing creepily is very well. She's telling her things and she's not listening. She killed a snake in front of her and she's been giving her creepy laughs and smiles from the sidelines. The spill in the dress and any sort of mistake etc. with Frida is of her own. Deja vu, which she isn't picking up on because she's intoxicated all of the time. All of the women are. Blessings, children of the forest, some MDMA, and that's what Spick says to everyone because they're all getting out their face. And what better than a private island in a tropical place to get out your fucking face and not really know your surroundings? Woohoo. So drugs, food and fun and most likely fucking. It's very hedonistic, which is how the portrayal of fame is described in the media and always has been. This is just a glimpse. Everyone out of it and the women are all running in white seems innocent enough, but also very cult-like. All the visions of the debauchery, the pool scene is very Hampton's White Diddy Party from the pictures shown from the ever-growing victim list of this case. Drinks are being made and flowing, drugged alcohol and food, and they will be used to it, but the girls who we're seeing a pattern here do not drink the Kool-Aid they offer in any form. It seems like like a very rich convention and being people, you don't care if they disappear. And being people, and being our type of people, you don't care if they disappear or ever come back the same. Things to be cleaned up and no one will be any the wiser. Rich is played by them as one of the characters and it's played by Kyle MacLachlan, who was in June Twin Peaks, How I Met Your Mother. He's been in loads of stuff. He's an amazing actor, and we all love Kyle. He is an amazing actor. He cannot remember Frida, and she fell at the gala, and they were talking, and she kind of says to him, like, the gala, and then he's reminded of who she is. It all gets a bit weird because he remembers her from the gala, and his eyes and face say totally different things. And I know how that feels because that's me. Cody, who is played by Simon Rex, has a special knife. He's actually the chef cooking all the food, and it's gone missing, and we find out things don't add up. Well, things start to go off track before the rich even realise it. So it's one for everybody else, the plebs, and zero to the rich. There's a lot of jealousy between some of the girls who are on the island all wanting to be in Slater's eye, but he has his eyes on Frida, and this seems to annoy a few of the girls. And again, it's odd to be possessive towards these types of people, especially when they're trying to act like they don't care, but they do. More booze being filled, and she doesn't know the day of the week. Again, really, how much are you drinking, or is this the effects of what you're putting into your body as you're doing things that you don't necessarily do, like party all night, and that catches up with us a lot of the time. You wouldn't know this as a new level of dementia. It's called run because they are drugging you. You are a bunch of dumbasses. Everything they talk about the night before is all being told by the rich guys. So what they did not want you to remember. Anything could have happened. They're just creating a narrative, and you are more subservient to what they are saying as you're under the influence and you can't remember. She asked when they are leaving. He asks if you're having a good time, and she says yes. And again, remember that. He says good because she ain't leaving the same. No one is leaving intact, that's for sure. Drunk antics, it seems to just be fun and tame, to be honest. I was expecting blood orgies and the dark fun arts, but it's all the light, the white. But what are they doing? What is it? Technically not pure or innocent because they're faking the purity. The snake bit her friend Jess and they kill it. That was a warning, a snake, a serpent, etc., not poisonous. Also, it wouldn't hurt you, basically. The snake that bites her anyway. Also, bags, red gift bags everywhere. Gina Davis, again, she's in this movie and she's dropping them all over the place. And again, it's a symbolism of you being to that island. You find out it's like a gift bag. It's like one of those gift bags you get when you go to those stupid ass events, like Met Galas and stuff, where you get these special reminders that you were there. Things that you wouldn't get elsewhere. There's a room full of them basically, and if you've been to the island even for like the day or for the night, you have one of those bags as a little reminder, so heaven knows what's in them. A token of your time there, who the fuck knows. Rich, he had one, and now there is one in the middle of the road. Red bags, again, like I said, are a token, a reminder of being on the island with your time there again. All the rich get them. What is that all about? Again, red bag. Red flag. Hello. Her friend Jess believes something isn't quite right on the island, you think? Jess has a bright yellow lighter with her name on it and people keep using it. You hear the click and yet again a couple of times then it's over, like everyone is forgettable. Like click, click, forget, blink twice, blink, blink, you forget type of thing. And again, it's coinciding with the title of the movie, basically. Over in a click, over in a blink. This reminded me a lot of the young women, especially one young woman that was in Eyes Wide Shut. She was an actress trying to make it big who disappeared after finding out something she shouldn't have, and then she was attacked. The other shoe finally drops, then it's time to throw away the shoes, which happens when you start to remember, wake up, you are gone. And with all the drugs and alcohol, they're making the other guests forget the ones that aren't from the world, but are there for the rich's enjoyment and the entertainment without them even knowing it. She asked the woman's name what her name is, and she says another name, and she says Red Rabbit. She keeps saying, after she gets her drink, she keeps saying it, and then she gives her this bottle, which has got like this bright green liquid in it, and she shows a snake after she drinks it, and apparently it's nasty, but we find out the type of snake that's actually in the movie isn't a poisonous, venomous snake. She couldn't have made it from that snake, but hey, there was that. They got the snake wrong. Again, she realises when she takes a drink that things are not how she is seeing them. This drink has made her wake up and realise that things aren't as they seem. So she decided to give it to someone else, another girl, and again kept calling her by a different name. And I was like, does she remind her of someone? And then when she drinks it, you realise no, it's the same person. So the special knife she sees, dreams we need to hide this. This is Jess, and it's the knife, Cody's knife, as if the woman has given her something to show her what's actually been going on and not what they are choosing to see, like things being foggy because excessive drinking and drug taking. Yet she's remembering little glimpses of a foggy memory, or was it a dream? At this point, she may not have ingested or taken as much drugs as she did, or she is building up a tolerance, so she would have taken more to forget. Tom has a cock on his head. Tom is played by Haley Joel Osment, who is in Star Wars, who he's when people are highly intoxicated or out of it, people do stupid shit like Jigglypuff and draw cocks on people's faces because it's funny. It's not a new concept. Everybody's done it at some point. You don't need to be a rich twat to do it. Lots of people do it. Also, she's under the weather. People are covered in bruises and things. Well, they don't know how they got them. This is also not uncommon. It happens to me daily. I walk into things a lot. But they're all bloody. And well, this looks like more like injuries inflicted, like against their will. They keep asking if she's okay. If your gut is telling you something is wrong, please listen. It's called intuition. It's a good thing. Called it either she's imagined her or they are so out of it they don't know what they are doing, or they are playing along as they are the only ones who really just came. The rest are all rich asshats who go there apparently all the time. The women gave her something to counteract the effects of what's going on, to show her this place isn't what it seems. The snake venom again used from snakes that aren't even poisonous, but hey, it's the story, let's just play along. But putting it out there, the snake venom can counteract drugs, though please don't do this, because there's people out there who will think that they can do this and they'll end up doing themselves damage. Also, all the women seem to have been brought to the island from all over the place, and they are being manipulated for what they want. Okay then, Diddle. They make tequila shots with the snake venom so all the girls have it in their system. They didn't realise that all the girls were brought here and don't know the rich guys, even though they were acting as if they did. Everyone's drunk, her nose is bleeding. That's what one of the effects is when you're not taking enough, or your body is literally, it's having a reaction to something, and their body's telling them it's something not quite right. They will set up a warning system so that you can go well check yourself before you wreck yourself. It's again your body's warning system to get you help, dumbass. She ends up elbowing the guy, Cody, freaking out about his knife, and he busted his face up. She doesn't like to be tickled and she smiles about it, and he sits with a couple of tampons shoved up his nose and is boo-hooing about being hit in the face. Be glad it's only a bloody nose you got, dickhead. She is snooping on the other side of the island, which is Frida, for clues. Her phone, maybe? Would the phone be fully charged? Did she even switch it off? Would there even be a signal on a private island? Questions of all the conspiracy theorists would ask ourselves, and people with 2 or more brain cells would also. Everyone drinking and things. The girl with all the nosebleeds well shouts blunt really loud so it would echo, so she'd be able to hear it. Frida knocks over a box and it has hundreds of Polaroids in it, and I mean hundreds, maybe thousands of Polaroids. With random people, random women, the same rich guys, with red bags, by the way. People she's not met, or maybe she has and she just can't remember them. Big red flag for the red bags and the Polaroids and everything that they're keeping. And the other side of the island that you're not supposed to be at, by the way. You stay in that part of the island, not that part, which is fucked up. What the fuck is he hiding? It seems a lot. But she's been bleeding and it's on the floor, and Slater's character is he's freaking out about what you think is blood, but it's not. It's a chair. It's a red chair. It focuses on the blood, but it's the chair situated in a place that he doesn't like. Red bag, red blood stain, red wine stain, red stains, seeing red, red flag. Hello? Warning. She's trying not to smoke or do drugs because you never know what they are lacing it with. Again, we know this from a certain celebrity trying to be Pimp Daddy. Slater says she got bit. She remembers everything, then breaks her neck. This is Jess, her friend. She sees her friend being killed in front of her as she is starting to remember, meaning she could only remember exactly what was been happening when she's drank that venomous drink. And well, that is not what they want the guests showing up throughout their stay, as we are not staying over with them, just flying in to party then fucking off. Not dodgy at all. And again, this is based around things like the infamous charlatan that is no longer with us, or the smart ones that have the proof. People never returning that know too much, or people never leaving for the same reason. No phones, no trail, no trace. It's funny what money can do and how it can make you forget. She's seeing how things are actually happening and how they killed Jess and how they have all been taking lots of drugs that are helping them forget. The girls are being viciously attacked and she's aware of what's going on and they are being hard and beaten, and the ones who are aware of it are reliving it. It's all about abusing the submissive and dominant roles, rich men thinking they can have what they want, and if they can't, they'll make it happen anyway by giving the people what they want. They want clout in the high life, but at a price. Full submission, respect, and your life, basically getting a good life, but being manipulated and drugged into submission so they can feel powerful and you to be weak and unable to fight back. This is power to them, and an actual powerful woman wouldn't stand for this, and that is why they have a type. They know which type of women they can lure and which ones they cannot. They tip the balance, but this time they fuck with the wrong ones. They start dancing with each other at the dinner table, because everything starts at the dinner table, because that's where they're ingesting obviously all the drugs and everything like that, and drinking. They start dancing, hiding weapons around the place for later. Payback, finally. But will they get them back? Will they get the chance to? That's the thing. For people that go to these events and parties, I don't have any sympathy for you. It seems to be good to be true, as I said before, then wake the fuck up, because they can find anyone to replace you as you are not important to them. So if anything happens to you, well, you know what can happen. Are you having a good time? Slater to Frida. I kind of got this as a control question, before hypnotism. Are you having a good time? Are you having fun? With the way he says it, it's the actions of eye contact and checking on her reaction. He has to say this before, and this is him figuring out if she's remembering or not. Kind of like to up the dose. Now, the rest of the girls are remembering, and you can see uncontrollable tears running down their faces when they realise that not only have their minds been violated, but their bodies. They haven't been their own, and they have been abused and attacked by these men and others, and then wiped clean their brain, basically, so they can continue on with it. While they are there, again, another abuse as they are remembering, yet if they survive this, they'll be fucked up for life. One of the women, like I said, has an ice pick, and she starts staring the fuck out of Tom, who is Haley Joel Osment character, and she literally goes for it, and he gets it to the neck basically, and then gets shoved in the fucking pool. Fucking deserves it. Some of this shit that it shows you what they're capable of doing. They're remembering who violated them, and they are being taken out. It took a bit longer than expected. They'd never expected it to happen, so the element of surprise was like, fuck you, which I was really happy about. This is where the nice, private, secluded island gets well a makeover, when the shit hits the fan and the predators become the prey, and even you are not safe anymore. Again, actions have consequences. This movie is all about that. The guard is looking for the rest of them, because he, again, isn't taking part, but he's fucking watching it. So I kind of felt like he was into voyeur, because he has to watch. That's his job anyway, for protection. But he's not liking it and not enjoying what he's seeing. So he's a bit I'm not against anybody into voyeur. We all are. We all watch things. So therefore, we all have a bit of voyeur in us. He knows what's going on in that island, and he allows it because he's paid to. Again, paid to be there. The guard is looking for the rest, like I said. Slater running like a maniac, and the guard as well. Art, he's marched right up to her, but the other girl kills him with a rock instead. People being stabbed and attacked as everyone's starting to remember. The security guard's taken out by the tile wielder, because it is a massive tile that she's wielding and hitting them with. So they're not even just getting like a wee stab. They're getting absolutely annihilated by the women that they attack. Which are fucking, again, actions have consequences, and you'll get what you dish out. It's called payback, and you guys are getting fucked up by the women here. All of the women that have come before them and suffered and maybe never made it home in the first place. This is for them. Slater kills one of the women who took an ice pick to the rich twats, the guy with a cock on his head. Forgetting is a gift, hun. Stacey, who's played by Gina Davis, meaning she has been there. That's the woman that works for Slater, says they get to forget even though they are being treated this way, and she gets stabbed. Also, she seems to be married to Rich, the guy that's played by Kel MacLachlan. So basically, was she one of them, or is she just part of that life because her husband likes that? That's the creepy thing about it, that she knows these women are being violated, and she knows what these women are there for, and she knows these women are actually being drugged and everything like that. And she's okay that her husband has been part of that. She's just as guilty as him. So she deserved to die too. I like Gina Davis as well. There's a special place in hell, yes there is, but when women start to remember what they've been subjected to, well, it's time to take out the problematic women who could destroy what they have. And they don't want to do that now, do they? Because then they can't have their wee secret secluded island visits where they can get up to wherever the fuck they want. In the Polaroid, she has a picture of her younger self with the nails, and she realised she's been there before. They are now on the warpath. Slater hit with a bell end ornament. Now there's a cock that moves. It's like a ornament on his desk, and it's a massive penis, but the head of the penis moves, and you can take it off, and she hits him with it, which I think is hilarious that the dickhead get hit with a dick. Hilarious. It's probably his own penis because he's the type of fucking rich guy that would probably have a mould of his penis and have his cock everywhere. The scar, she remembers if she's having a great time, was only actually a year before. And the nails were a red rabbit. Something the woman kept saying, red rabbit, red rabbit, red rabbit. She found her Polaroid and many of them strewn across the floor. Apparently he's sorry. It said so many times I actually said I'm sorry, but will you shut the fuck up? Because it was uncomfortable. Him saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And I was like, please shut the fuck up. No one gives a fuck. If you were fucking sorry, you wouldn't be still continuing to do these things yet. You did, so you're not fucking sorry. You say sorry so people will be quiet and accept it, but we're not fucking accepting it. He said it in his interview at the start, I'm sorry. I've changed. Have you though? There's so much you can forget. This is going to be great. It's revenge. Possibly. The other survivor has been waterboarded, and now he's about to. Then he is like, what the fuck? What the actual fuck? And he starts to remembering the forgetting. And while the place is going up in flames, and there's more than an eye for an eye here, then the old woman laughs and she's outside. Asks for a light, but the woman has him outside too. Then the end, Rich approaches Channing Tatum's character, who's Slater, and he says a bunch of stuff. And Frida's there. And he's like, I'm sorry. Do I know you? That stupid rich guy thing. Like, I know you, but you definitely know me. And she says the name of the island, and the shit hits the fan because she remembers they have a discussion while they are tied up and being restrained when they're drugged. Rich comes in and Channing Tatum's character Slater turns around and goes, no, they'll never remember. That's the beauty of it basically. You can do whatever the fuck you want to them, but they will never ever remember. And she says that the island name, meaning that she remembers him because she knows exactly what he did to her and many women before her. So he shits it and walks away. And she seems to either be in on it or she became his wife, because that's what they say, Slater's wife, Mrs. blah blah blah. Or was she in on it from the start? Because that's the kind of twist I got. Yeah, she was there the year before, but could it be the kind of couple where they act like they don't know each other and they have separate lives? And then it's a whole role play thing where they actually act like they don't know each other. But he was drugging her. Was that part of it as well? Or was it she became married to him? That was her way of getting clout, getting money, not having to work for it anymore, because she had something on the billionaire that could destroy him. And it's actually more fun to be part of his life and have that hanging over his head than it actually was to take him to court and put women through the abuse again of having to relive it by having to sit on the stand, which is what happened in the Epstein case, that all the victims had to talk about their own unique abuse. Who knows? But it started with I'm sorry. And it literally ended with Frida at the top of the table and how he's sorry. And she actually says, oh babe, like eat your dinner, like eat your food kind of thing. And he's like shaking and stuff. Like he is actually scared from remembering everything he has done because she gave him something, because it was vape. I think it's something in his vape that he actually takes that she actually switched round, that he actually remembered everything. But what really weirded me out was the fact that he was aware that he was doing it. It was obviously not the fucking drugs that made him like that. But there is like a fine line between, taking certain drugs and substances that actually bring out the monster that's in you. It's already there. It just needed, teased out with something. Sometimes it's alcohol, sometimes it's drugs. Sometimes it's just some other addiction that you have that can bring it out. But it's always there. But he literally looked frightened And it's thinking, was he groomed? Was he like this? Did he been brought into this in some other way, you know, because of the life he has? Is it something you pass on? Fuck no, who the fuck knows? That was the review. We're going to go into the IMDb now to see what cost of movies is and a bunch of other things that we usually cost a movie, box office and total gross, 1-star reviews, average reviews, best reviews, and read out the parental warnings, and then we'll go into my rating of the movie. So the cost of the movie, let's see, is it going to tell you? Yes, right. So the budget was 20 million estimated. Now it says estimated 20 million. Its opening weekend in US and Canada was $7,301,894. And that was August the 25th, 2024. The gross in Canada was 23,093,906 from US and Canada. And the gross worldwide, it made $46,393,906 million. So the movie estimated was 20 million. I think that would have been between the stars being paid and the locations that they picked. That's what that would all have been. But it made more than double the actual estimated cost, not with the promo, because it did get a large promo. It really did get a large promo for the promotion of the movie, like going because they had a premiere in London and obviously multiple ones in the States as well, so that costs a lot, you know, to make it an event, and that's what they used to actually sell these things. But it made 46.3 mil for a 20 million estimated budget. So even if it did have as much promotion paid, that would still have made 6 million, basically just over 6 million more. And it's not went into absolutely everything from when it's been up to streaming and people buying the movie and things like that. She did incredibly well for her first movie that she's directed, and I'm sure she's very, very proud of that baby that she created. Apparently it was the origin of United States and Mexico where it's been filmed. Again, most of it was filmed in Mexico, it says here. Apparently it was supposed to be called Pussy Island. I don't think it has the same ring to it, to be honest. But apparently women found it negative, so she changed it. And again, you're going to offend someone. Quotes, something horrible is about to happen. No, something horrible has happened and it's continuing to happen. That's what. So we had Naomi Aki, who played Frida, Channing Tatum played Slater, Alia Shawkat, Jess, Christian Slater, Vic, Simon Rex, Cody, Adria Arjona, Sarah, Haley, Joel Osment, Tom, Liz Carabell, Camilla, or Leavenhawk, who is, I believe, Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman's son. He played Lucas. True Mullen played Heather, Gina Davis, Stacey, Kyle McLaughlin, Rich, Chris Costa, Stan, who is the security guard, and a bunch of other little tiny people that I haven't heard of. Again, there's a lot of people I've never heard of, a lot of people who are obviously classic actors who are in it, who probably don't ever need to work again, but choose to work on projects like this. She had a vision and she seems to have accomplished it. She looks so happy in the actual promotion photos of her showing what she can do, and she's not just an Apple baby as she keeps getting called. I can understand if you're an Apple baby with no talent and you're just using your parents and your family to get to where you are, but she isn't. That's what this movie is more of a get fucked, I'll show you what I can do, and she has. Blink Twice was an hour and 42 minutes long. It didn't feel that way. It was rated R. It comes under psychological thriller, mystery, and thriller. I thought there was a horror aspect to the way they were being killed, and also the actual aspects of the things that were happening in the topic. So again, director Zoe Kravitz. It was written by Zoe Kravitz and E.T. Feigenbaum. Or Feigenbaum. I cannot pronounce people's names. It's going to happen. So let's see. We're going to go for the reviews now and see. It gets 6.5 out of 10. So we're going to go for the 10 out of 10 ones first, because you know they always have. They're usually written by AI. I'm still convinced they are. Kept me entertained the whole time. Really, really enjoyed this. Zoe did a fantastic job in this. It was very suspenseful, but also somewhat light-hearted at the same time. Light-hearted? Are you fucking kidding me? Right, the cast felt so right. All brilliant performances. Obviously, Channing Tatum blew the socks off his performance. He was phenomenal in this. I've never seen him in such a good role. It really suited him. I have seen him in things where he's played very good roles. You obviously haven't watched many films. I bet it was just Magic Mike. The film was super glam and sexy. Who doesn't want to watch watch How the Rich Live. It hooked me the whole time. I love the storyline and the finish was just a chef's kiss. I fucking hate that term. The message also was very serious and made me sit back and think about all the victims out there. I thought it was very powerful that they provided a trigger warning in advance of the film. I was going to say, like, you would need a fucking trigger warning before and after because that is fucked up. That's from Adele Mull. That was on August the 24th. Utterly awesome. No spoilers. You will not want to read any spoilers before watching this, so I'm not going to spoil a single bit of the mystery synopsis. Channing Tatum plays tech billionaire Slater King, an eccentric mogul who meets Frida and Jess at his cocktail fundraiser, then invites them to his private island for a dream vacation. He doesn't specify that it's a dream vacation, by the way. As the day on the island passes, Frida begins to question her memories and the intentions of some of her other guests. Again, she doesn't question them. Her friend goes missing. If her friend wasn't there, she probably wouldn't have, and she would probably have ended up not coming back. I won't say anything more because to provide more detail would potentially spoil some of the mystery, but suffice it is to say that this is one of the smartest, funniest, and most satisfying thrillers of the year. Some of this true, yes, some of it not. Naomi Aki anchors the film with her outstanding performance as a cocktail waitress. Frida, thrust into a world she enhanced by and desperately wants to join, like a lot of people in the outskirts of that world. Aki is a fantastic actress. In one terrifying scene, her facial expressions that communicate a range of anger, spite, sadness, fear, full desire, and without uttering a word. Yeah, her eyes really did describe a lot of things without her even having to open her mouth. Alia Shawkat is phenomenal. She hardly ever gets credit for the subtleness of her performance because she often plays the same flightly listless character, but here she shows depth and range that proves she's a star. Again, when you watch it, you'll understand. She's the one that was like the massive stoner who ends up taking out Tom with the cock on his head. Yeah, her performance was fantastic. The real surprise here is Adria Arjona, whose character in the first act comes off as a one note, the jealous former love interest. Suddenly, when the situation turns in the second act, we realise who her character really is, and her transformation is one of my favourite character arcs of the main character in years. Don't let anyone tell you what this movie is about. Go in blind as you can. It takes a bit to get where it's going. It doesn't really. If you know about the world and the cesspool of it, then it's not an eye opener. The first 45 minutes establishes the tone and setting of the island. Its many interesting characters, Christian Slater, Haley Joel Osment, and Kyle MacLachlan make memorable appearances and their everyday shenanigans. Once it hits 1 hour mark, everything goes to hell in a handbasket, leading to a third act that is enormously satisfying and redemptive. It's called Payback, bitch. It becomes a cautionary tale about the power of memory and the dangers of spending quality time with sociopaths. No, it isn't. It's about clout chasers realising that they're basically being played. Bottom line, this is a home run. Topher Drew PG. Amazing movie. Think twice. I absolutely loved Blink Twice. The film had me hooked from the start to finish with its intense plot and clever twists. Again, there was twists, but there was also things laid out for you to actually work out yourself, which again I enjoy. The movie's captivating thriller that masterfully intertwines suspense and emotion, keeping the audience on the edge of their seats from start to finish. The film excels in its pacing, with every twist perfectly timed to be building tension and intrigue. I didn't think it built any tension, but hey, not everybody thinks like me. The film excels in its pacing, with every twist, illusion, and reality draws viewers into a psychological maze that is both thought-provoking and unsettling. Yes, it's very uncomfortable. The cast was phenomenal, but what really stood out to me was Zoe's incredible debut as a director. She brought a fresh vision and unique style that truly elevated the movie. It's rare to see a first-time director handle such a complex story with such finesse. Definitely a must-watch for anyone who enjoys a smart psychological thriller. Again, Zoe has been around this life most of her life. Her mother is an actress and an artist. Her father is a musician, and her grandfather, I think, was an actor as well. She's been around this world, so it's not unusual for her to have adapted herself. She's become an actress, she does what she enjoys, and she's realised that she wants to show what she can do behind the camera. And when actors get to a certain age, usually they want to do more things like into producing, which is basically you throwing money at a project, or directing, or writing, or all of them. If you're an incredibly talented person and you have these actual attributes, to your personality and you are capable of these things, then fucking go for it. You might be known as an actress or an actor for a small part of your career, but you could be known as a director for the rest, or a writer, you never know. That was the 10 out of 10 ones. Let's go by 1 stars. Boring into street silly. Again, people call it street silly are not even realizing that this shit does happen, has happened, and it's based on some sort of experience. So there. The first half of the movie is the same day lived again and again. It is like Groundhog Day, yes, but they're trying to build up, you take the people taking lots of drink and drugs and doing things. It's a repetitive cycle to show you how much people will take before they actually wake the fuck up. So hey, you think they would use the time to build tension or character interaction, but it's not the case. They didn't really need to because we were building up to that. Instead, the best friend of the main character dies with little explanation or consideration for her death. Again, if you had drugs that were totally adapting your mind and manipulating your mind, you wouldn't fucking remember who the fuck you were. And that's what Frida actually shows. All the girls do. They seem to show Sarah especially that they can't remember who the fuck they are, and they can't remember what the fuck they've done, and they can't remember who the fuck these people are, and they're forgetting things. Again, if you haven't been in that sort of hallucinogenic love drug type of place, then you wouldn't actually realise that you can remember things, or you remember things differently. So shut up. After the story devolves into pure chaos without any semblance of pacing or character evolution, again we're rewatching the same film because you do see them as being looking just for clout, trying to get a better life, doing everything so they can stay, and then realising that we aren't in Kansas anymore. In the end, the girls trapped on the island kill their perpetrators and get killed in the process. They don't all get killed, so shut up. And instead of satisfying conclusion, we get our main character a necessary gamble with her life to buy herself a ticket for a better one. This is what they wanted all along. They want to end up married to the rich guys, no matter what. And some people will fucking put up with that shit for that life, which is as pathetic and sad as it is, because they're pathetic people. I'm sorry, but they fucking are. All in a waste of time, and I left the movie in a worse mood than before. That means that you were in a shitty mood before, it sounds like, but we've all been there. I wish there was something I could take to make me forget about the last 90 minutes. Wow. For the first half of Nepo Baby Kravitz's film, again, she has famous parents. She can't fucking do anything about that. She could have changed her name, but she doesn't have to fucking change her name. It's her fucking name. You'll be annoyed by her gimmicky look at me direction, a constant irritation that gets in the way of what looks like it might become an interesting story. Again, for the second half, the direction doesn't get any better. Again, you seem to have went into this film just to pick apart. As like, do you really not like her? Were you turned down by her? But everything else gets worse. If mindless garbage like this is the kind of thing Hollywood is greenlighting, what the hell are we turning down? Look what they did with the fucking Crow. Then you can fucking make a judgment on how shit a movie is. But how naive of me, I'm forgetting that famous surname. And if you're going to make a film which satirizes the abuse of power and privilege, I guess it helps to have truckloads of both yourself and no sense of irony. They kind of like that whole thing is a problem with Zoe Kravitz herself. It's nothing to do with the film. So that's just a hit. Rog Mort Smith, who obviously doesn't like her. I'm not a big fan of her acting. I don't think she's a particularly good actress. I've said that plenty. I think she's one of the worst Catwomen we've ever seen, and I don't even like Hathaway, man, as Catwoman. I hated her with a passion. Rubbish. What a load of old toenails. Okay. The plot development is grossly inadequate and interspersed with shots of women doing the same uninteresting things over and over again. To you, the film has no pace, little narrative structure, no explanations, no science, nonsensical, unspecified and odd native characters, and above all, it was dull and boring. The odd native characters are actually not dull because they are there, they work on that island and they see the same women and they've noticed that the same women have come back. She tries to warn them. She tries to give the women clues, and obviously English isn't her first language, but she's not fucking stupid, the woman. The woman is trying to show her something, and she thinks she's being weird and creepy until she realises that the woman has been trying to warn her all along. I sincerely regret not walking out before the end, mostly because I'm fatigued after COVID. Oh, who gives a shit? Are you going to now try and get sympathy in a fucking on an internet forum? I did harbour some hope that the end might get more interesting, but even that was appalling shit. My advice is don't pay to see it. We went because we have monthly passes and we hoped for a better film choice after the school holidays. Sir Tatters all. Okay, what is my review? Well, I give this movie a thumbs up, a hats off to the direction where credit is due. Predictable, yes, but I enjoyed Miss Kravitz's attention to detail to make everything as it should be to bring this world to open our eyes, and she did. The real life scandals similar to this story, well, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Some people may think it's over exaggerated, but conspiracy has always been a huge part of this world, and with all the scandals from the toxic Hollywood, well, this just feeds our mind to what actually goes on behind closed doors and how much is based on fact. I give this movie 3 out of 5. The cast were picked well. The badass women in this story, fuck yes. We need strong women showing that we don't take your shit and will not roll over even when you take our will from us. You only have it for temporarily. Because when we rise from the cloudy world, you better fucking run. A storm is coming, and it's one that's been lingering in the shadows, and it's about to again. Actions have consequences. When you think you have got away with it, think again. Cast, location, story, all awesome. It was predictable, especially to myself, who is into conspiracy in a big way. But the gripe I had was with the ending. Once everything had picked up the pace and we knew that was coming, it twisted, spoiler, and ended quick. The ending should have been on the island with maybe a red bag at the end, or whoever was left a voice or something. Like blink twice, like maybe a collection or collaboration of the things that Slater said, like him talking before and after, and her talking, and maybe the voices from some of the other people I thought would have been much better, and then the red bag, and then, you know, a click, blink twice from the Polaroid would have been a really good ending as well, and just ended, but they had to go show that she got what she wanted, which was basically she clout chased to the end and got to be his wife and live a life that she wanted rather than the revenge that she sought out on an island to come out victorious. But hey, that would have been a much more better ending than the one that they gave us. That's the gripe I had with it. Because you made them out to be warriors, the victims to be warriors, for them to actually roll over. Well, not even roll over. She is like the head of everything and she's the wife and she dictates everything. But it's not the same as basically believing with your faculties and knowing that you've done something right for the all of mankind. Getting rid of asshats, douchebags, or whatever the fuck you want to call them. I said the only gripe I had was the ending, because again, once it picked up the pace and we knew that was coming. I felt the ending was chosen was a big letdown, causing more questions than there needed to be. Frida was marvellous, believable, and you wanted her to be victorious, the victorious victim turned champion and warrior. But the ending let her down. The rest of the bigger names in this cast made it more mysterious as they are part of the kind of 80s Hollywood names such as Gina Davis, Kel MacLachlan and Christian Slater. We also had Haley Joel Osment, a child star, in the mix there, who again played his role marvellously. I was happy to see him on the big screen because it's been a while. Channing Tatum was creepy, but there was a kind of sadness about him, the kind of playing along with I am the billionaire, I cannot trust people, and again surrounding yourself with yes people is never a good thing, telling you what you want to hear, feeding an ever growing ego that turns you into a monster. You have to start out bad in the first place. It just grows with the fame. Fame, money and clout. This also makes your social circle small, and introducing new people is a risk. But what if you were the risk? As Slater is here, he is the ringleader, yet with his lifestyle he lived fast to forget, which again not cool. He played a controlling billionaire with a questionable hobby. And if people weren't aware, don't go to private islands with people that you just met, and don't drink the Kool-Aid in which form it comes in. Be aware, be safe, blink and you'll miss it. Blink and you will miss something, blink twice and you're forgotten. Blink twice, pay attention. Tell me your view on Blink Twice. I love to hear your views and opinions on the movies we watch, review and discuss here on Confessions from the Dark Side. So I gave it 3 out of 5, which would be a 6 out of 10, which is just as close. You've literally played with us the whole movie and then gave us an anticlimactic ending. You wanted to rush it because you got tired halfway through the session. She may have been known as an actress, but she will be known as a director from this movie and her career onwards. But here's the thing, despite all the style Blink Twice Twice stumbles under its own weight. The plot tries to tackle way too much in too little time. Toxic masculinity, yes. Trauma, white privilege, cancel culture, you name it. It's in there. Because of that, the story gets messy, losing some of its impact. The pacing drags with repetitive scenes and foreshadowing that's so on the nose, it almost spoils itself. By the time the big twist rolls out, you've probably already guessed it. I guessed it when I seen the fucking trailer. And it doesn't hit as hard as it should, but that's not as good. It's not a bad thing for me. Ending undermines the full feminist message that left me almost disappointed as Saltburn. Saltburn was a big disappointment because it was creepy and just unhinged. That is only the tip of the thematic issue, but someone more knowledgeable in theory should delve into it deeper. If you've seen movies like Glass Onion, Triangle of Sadness, The Menu, or Don't Worry Darling, this one's going to feel familiar. Don't Worry Darling was a shite movie. What do you expect? Fucking Olivia Wilde was in it. That lassie can't act for shit. She's a cunt as well. She doesn't seem to be a particularly nice person either to herself, her family, and people around her. That's why folk don't want to work with her and people have to be quiet about her fucking actions because she's a bitch. The Menu, not really interested in it. I look boring as fuck. And The Glass Onion was so fucking terrible. It was a shit sequel. The original fucking Knives Out was amazing. Amazing cast and everything. So I think you've got half of that right and half of that wrong. But again, it's your opinion and you're allowed to have that. But I'm just telling you that this is my opinion and I think it's wrong. That's both good and bad. It's got a bit of the same vibe, but also feels a little stale. Even though it starts off strong, it had come out 10 or so years ago. It would have been a phenomenon. Still Blink Twice isn't without its moments. It's got style for sure. Kravitz's dark tone might just help pick up a cult following. The movie tries to flip into slasher mode in the third act, which sort of works. Though, as a horror snob, I kind of wanted more grit and gore. I did want that too, but I think the gore and the horror is from the story and the fact that it's close to the truth and you actually realise. Horror fans might dig it, but don't expect it to blow you away or come out feeling better. It's clearly Blink Twice is well made, but it is also very unpleasant. Watching it, I felt deeply unsettled and incredibly anxious. Again, it's not supposed to be fluffy. It's about fucking sexual predators and the shit that they will do to get their jollies, to be honest. It effectively drew me into the fantasy alongside the characters. Zoe Kravitz shows she's got a future as a director and maybe with a bit more focus a sequel could really deliver. What sequel? Don't fucking say that word. For now though, Blink Twice is a mixed bag worth checking out for its style and some cool ideas, but don't go in expecting a masterpiece. And that was from Rebel Panda. So let's see what the parental warnings are, because they usually have them. The plot summary in Subnosis, "Are you having a good time?" is the tagline. It's mystery and thriller. And again, the horror aspect is more the fact that it's actually closer to truthful events that have happened in Hollywood and most likely still go on. So let's see. Content rating, which is by the MP, which is motion picture rating, rated R for strong violent content, sexual assault, drug use, language throughout, and some sexual references, really. Some sexual references, really. It's about debauchery on a private island. Of course, there's going to be fucking references to a sexual nature, for fuck's sake. Sexual and nudity moderate. Violence and gore severe. Again, there was some corkscrew action, but come on. You knew where it was going the minute it was picked up. It was going into someone somewhere. Profanity moderate. Alcohol, drugs, and smoking severe. Because they do a bit of MDMA and some weed, I wouldn't say that was fucking severe. It's not like they're injecting smack into their eyeballs or something, do you know what I mean? Frightening and intense scenes. Severe. Again, it was about payback. Of course it was going to be intense. I didn't think it was frightening. They got what was fucking coming to them. So, the sex and nudity moderate, 63 out of 272, found this to be moderate. Disturbing sexual assaults against females, detailed forced bondage, forced penetration, and severe post PTSD, basically, of R, as memories surface, could be triggering or upsetting to watch. And again, you don't know if these women were actually into bondage before they actually were drugged into it. Anyway, graphic male R, gang R, and female fatality. Fatality, sorry. Violence and gore severe, 88 out of 116 found this severe. A man shot in the head and killed. No shit. You don't always die from a headshot, by you. A woman is bit by a snake. That was severe? What the fuck? A man is stabbed in the hand with a corkscrew. Graphic. Again, it was a wee flesh wound. It wasn't anything bad. It's not like you get, like, impaled on it. Do you know what I mean? It was a fucking corkscrew. It's not like she fucking kept going at it. There's a lot more bad injuries that happened with that fucking corkscrew rather than stabbed in the fucking hand. It was Cody that got stabbed in the hand and he fucking deserved it. He was a bit of a dick. It's implied that a man is shot and killed off screen. And spoilers, there are flashes of extremely disturbing SA where the women are tied up in an extreme distress that to begin to remember. Very disturbing and upsetting to watch, and one of these sequences a woman is murdered by having her neck snapped while the victim was watching. Again, they don't remember it, it's only the friend that remembers Frida. No violence until the final 30 minutes, where there are graphic bloody stabbings as well as arse scenes with thrusting details. Yeah. The worst thrusting I've ever seen. Not believable. It's implied that a man dies in a fire. Die in a fire? Really? In one of the most upsetting sequences, a woman who has just found out she's been gang-ard by a group of men after having her memory erased stabs one of the men to death repeatedly in the face, neck and chest. It's called payback and he deserved it. She is then taken away, tied up and gagged and then suffocated by another character. She died. Two women fight each other in a bathroom. One slams the other's head against the mirror and the other woman then fatally stabs her. Yeah. While trying to get away from the attackers, a woman trips and falls and smashes her head in a rock. There's some blood and it leaves a scar, but she survives, which is Frida. While being attacked from behind, a woman bites a man's pinky finger off. Be glad it's only his pinky that's being bit off. This is not like a bobbit situation. A man is beaten to death with a rock. Again, it's the tail wielder, as I said, mostly off screen, but the blood spatter is shown. Again, it's for dramatic effect and shock. A woman hits the man over the head with a wine bottle before she begins beating him with a chessboard. She is shot and killed before she gets the chance to finish him off. And finish him off means kill him, not actually a happy ending in this case. She leaves him beat up and bloodied. A man is hit over the head with a statue before, and that's the penis, before he ties up a woman. He does the same to another and threatens her with a knife to her throat, and then he trips and hits his neck on a table and gets knocked out. Profanity, frequent uses of the word fuck. Well, it's an R-rated movie. There's going to be some fucks of many occurrences there. Alcohol, drugs and smoking. 85 out of 106 found this severe before. 51 people found this moderate. The word fuck gets used all the fucking time. I just used it there, not to prove a point, just because I say fuck a lot. It feels good to say the word fuck, fuckity, fuck. There. Do you know what I mean? So I don't understand in this day and age that people find it moderate or severe. Come on to fuck. So the film contains numerous scenes where the characters are frequently consuming various types of alcoholic beverages. Additionally, they're ingesting hallucinogenic substances. They're called hallucinogenic love drugs for a reason. That leads to hallucinations, delirium, and temporary memory loss. They've actually concocted many drugs to mimic and also dull effects of the drugs they're taking and the situation that they're being put in. So they actually cover everything. So they forget, but they're subservient, and then they're docile. But they need them to be okay and not remember, not have memories, but they need them to get out their face during the day so they can continue at night. That's how I perceived it. Moreover, there are repeated instances of characters smoking marijuana throughout the film, while most of the world it's legal, so shock horror, people are smoking weed. Oh! These elements are prevalent in the most parts of the movie, making them an integral part of the storyline and character portrayal. Characters are seen taking drops of what's described as MDMA on their tongue, which is better known as ecstasy, but it's a purer form and does better things than ecstasy ever has. Never taken it, so wouldn't know. Frightening and intense scenes. I'm only going by what people have said to me and have experienced it for themselves. So severe, apparently 79 116 found this severe, strong themes: sexual violence, drug use, and coarse language. I am shocked. Coarse language, really? Because they said fuck a few times? It's not like they dropped C-bombs. The whole movie is extremely tense and frightening, as it's about a group of women who are unaware that being attacked every night by a group of men, then having their memories erased after. These scenes are shown as flashbacks once the women remember what's going on, and extremely sudden and graphic and disturbing to watch, especially if you've survived SA and DV and everything like that. So apparently the certifications in the UK, it was a 15. The United States was an R rating. Most people, it's an N16 or a K16. Chile was an 18. Brazil was an 18. So I think it's an R rated or 15. That film, Blink Twice, would have been an 18. like 20 years ago for sure. But again, everything is different compared to what was like before. So, what do you think about the severity of the topic? Do you think some people in IMDb need to wake the fuck up and they live in the 21st century and things have changed? Tell me your view on Blink Twice. I love to hear about it. Your views, your opinions, what you hated, what you loved, the music we watch, the reviews, what we discuss here on Confessions from the Dark Side. Let me know in the comments below. That was Confessions from the Dark Side presents Reviews from the Dark Side, and that was Blink Twice, A Diddy Party on Epstein Island review. If you like content like this, remember to go check us out. Confessions from the Dark Side social media platforms are Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Amazon Music, Spotify, and Buzzsprout. Let us know what you think on our social medias. Let's get chatting about this topic, all the topics. Let's grow our community and spread out awesome the Kickstarter community actually is. As I said, I'm Lady Darcy Darkness, and this is Confessions from the Dark Side. That was Reviews from the Dark Side, Blink Twice, A Diddy Party on Epstein Island, and I'll see you in the next one later.